1. Splunk architecture. Splunk is a powerful platform that enables organizations to collect, index, and analyze machine-generated data to gain valuable insights and make informed decisions. The architecture of Splunk consists of various components that work together to process and analyze data efficiently. Here's an overview of the Splunk architecture. Data sources. Data sources refer to the systems, applications, devices, or logs that generate data. Splunk can collect data from various sources, including servers, network devices, security appliances, databases, and more. The data can be in structured or unstructured formats. Forwarders. Splunk forwarders are lightweight agents installed on the data sources to collect and forward data to the Splunk platform. Forwarders compress and encrypt the data before sending it to the Splunk indexers for processing. Indexers. Indexers are responsible for receiving, indexing, and storing the data sent by the forwarders. They parse the data into events and create an index for efficient searching and retrieval. The indexers store the indexed data in hot, warm, or cold buckets based on the data's age and usage patterns. Search heads. Search heads provide the user interface for interacting with the Splunk platform. They allow users to search, visualize, and analyze the indexed data. Search heads accept user queries, distribute them to the indexers, and consolidate the search results to present them to the users. Deployment server. The deployment server is responsible for managing and distributing configuration updates to the Splunk components in the deployment. It ensures consistency and allows centralized management of Splunk configurations across multiple instances. 2. Default ports used by Splunk. Management port. Default 8089. This port is used for communication between Splunk components, such as the search heads, indexers, and forwarders. It is used for managing configurations, authentication, and other administrative tasks. Web interface port. Default 8000. This port is used for accessing the Splunk web interface, which provides the user interface for searching, analyzing, and visualizing data. Indexer receiving port. Default 9997. This port is used by forwarders to send data to the indexers for indexing and storage. Index replication port. Default 8080. This port is used for data replication between the indexers in a clustered environment. Search head clustering port. Default 8191. This port is used for communication between the search head cluster members in a distributed search environment. Distributed search port. Default 8192. This port is used for communication between search heads and search peers during distributed search operations. Forwarder management port. Default 8089. This port is used for managing and monitoring forwarders from the deployment server. Syslog input port. Default 514. Splunk can listen on this port to receive syslog data from network devices and applications. 3. How to add logs from log sources to Splunk. Upload a file or archive of files for indexing. Monitor file path to fetch continuous logs getting generated. Forwarder logs from remote machine. 4. If you need to collect logs from 5000 server, how will you install UF on all servers? Using deployment server, we can make use of bash script in order to install forwarder remotely. 5. What is the difference between selected and interesting fields in Splunk? Selected fields. Important fields extracted by Splunk, host, source type, and displayed below each event. Interesting fields. If that field is at least 20% of search results by default. 6. Mention the commands you use in Splunk. Few commands regularly used by analysts are stats, chart, rare, search, dedup, head, tail, top, rename, table. 7. How is license calculated in Splunk? Splunk calculates its license usage based on the amount of data that is indexed within a given time period. The license usage is determined by two key factors: the amount of data ingested and the indexing volume. Data ingestion. Splunk measures the amount of data ingested into the system, which includes all events or log entries that are indexed. The data can come from various sources, such as files, network inputs, scripted inputs, APIs, etc. Splunk calculates the license usage based on the compressed and indexed size of the data. Indexing volume. Splunk assigns an indexing volume to each license. The indexing volume represents the amount of data that can be indexed within a specified time period, typically on a daily basis. The indexing volume is usually expressed in terms of GB day or GB hour. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe the channel for more videos.